Where are we going to be playing is the next question. We'll go through the map veto phase to determine exactly where. So we see Consulate and Clubhouse auto-banned out by them being the played maps in the last play day for these teams.
So we'll get the repeat of our previous match there at all. We have a little bit of map variety in today's show. Bank will be banned out next by NIP, followed by Cafe from Team 1. Still a little bit too new and fresh to the pool for them to be willing to jump into this early on, so they're going to knock that up. Border, often a popular pick here, also going to be thrown out.
Coastline's still in here right now. It's really surprising to me. You don't usually see Coastline in, so is it going to be Coastline or is it going to be Villa?
Yeah, I was going to say more likely Villa, since we are working with LATAM. And we saw from the map stats earlier, a lot of teams in LATAM not choosing to go into Coastline. I think it was the least picked map. They're very close to it when it comes to this region. Villa is a lot more popular and I think a lot more comfortable amongst the locality for these teams, so we're going to end up with that one. And I think that's the safer choice between these two teams.
No, I think it's totally reasonable. A lot of people still think that Villa has a lot of room to be explored, quite literally, and that the strategy hasn't been completely fleshed out, which makes it an interesting map. So not only is it a map that teams are okay to go to, it's also a map that for some people it's really interesting. You guys think Ninjas and Pyjamas are going to win it?
Big surprise there.
Yeah.
Given their record, of course. I think most people would be wanting to go with them. Wouldn't be totally out of the ordinary, though, if we saw Team 1 swing into this one. They're also looking good this season. It would just be, obviously, a big upset, considering we've yet to see a full loss from NIP. Really want to hammer that point home. Overall, though, if you look at the veto and the kind of map stats behind this one, this is still a veto where I think NIP have clearly won it. It's a far better map statistically for them. They currently have a 4-2 record on it. Team 1 has a 1-3 record on this right now. Once again, that's considering all results, even outside of Pro League, too. So
it's something that Team 1 are going to have to surmount, I'm sure. And yeah, Ninjas and Pyjamas just in general are going into this, in my opinion, the favored team, no matter how you look at it. Surprising that it's 75, so that's actually lower than Team Liquid managed to get against MIBR.
Yeah, interestingly enough. So quite a few you thinking that Team 1 is going to be able to bring their fight to the table here today, and I would say that that's a possibility to outright win it, though we will have to see. The tie, of course, we've already seen that happen a couple of times, just not the outright win against NIP. They've been far too powerful. They've been bringing us some international performances here and then as well in some of the minors and some of these bigger lands that we've been having.
Yeah, Ninjas and Pyjamas are looking like a really formidable team right now, and to be honest, I don't think that they're... Even if they drop a few matches here and there, like let's say they lose to Team 1 right now, I don't see them not making it to LAN.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's statistically possible for them to not make it to LAN at this point, as weird as that sounds to say. But I do know that they're in a really good position to just ride this season out. No matter what they do, it'd be hard to mess it up at this point. Like, they'd have to try. They'd have to actively try. So Team 1 are the ones that are fighting for something right now. A reminder that FaZe are the team that, in recent history, they were finding themselves in second going into this second half. But in recent history, coming into the second half, they've actually lost 2 matches and won just a 1. So FaZe have not been making the greatest second half here, the most efficiency possible. And what that means is that as the team in second, they could potentially lose their spot to many teams, like Team 1, for example. So there's a lot for Team 1 right now to be fighting for. We're going to go ahead and load into Villa, and we're going to see what they can manage.
All right, guys, well, let's get into it. Of course, we have the operator bans to get rid of first, so we'll jump into that right now. But it is NIP up against Team 1 for our second match of the day here in Latin American Pro League. Let's see which team will come out on top of it. It's best of 1 as usual, but we do not use overtime. So if the teams tie up at 6-6, it'll stay that way and end the match on a draw.
So NIP defense first, they ban first, they're taking their time, they're being deliberate, they're thinking about their options. They've got a whole lot. I'm surprised they haven't made a decision yet.
Let's see. I'm going to say Cap.
Okay. Thatcher or one of the hard destructors? Oh, no. Wow.
Luck.
That is a curveball if I've ever seen one. I mean, it's not crazy on Villa. You just don't see Buck banned. I think that might be his first ban in LATAM, at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if...
Maybe not, though. Because they have a spread out bans on attack, just not on defense, remember?
Yeah, I was trying to remember from earlier if he was banned that a little bit more. And a Dokkaebi ban. Whoa. Oh, man, the attacker ban is going wild in this match.
Yeah, this is unusual, to say the least. That means all of our hard destructors are here. Thatcher's still here. Capitel's still here. I mean, Nomad's still here. It's... Oof. Maestro gone, so I'm thinking Mira probably is the last one. Or, I mean, maybe an Echo, but I'd expect the Mira.
Yeah, I don't think the Defender ban's going to go too crazy here. The metal on that's been pretty static for a long time now in terms of what usually gets banned out. But
the defensive ban phase just doesn't change.
Yeah.
But they're being slow here. Look, wait a minute.
I just want to make this as exciting as possible.
Hold your horses, guys.
All this for a Mira ban watch.
It's going to be Tachanka. No, it's an
Oh,
Echo.
they'll leave Mira in, though.
Yeah, so Mira is in. It was either going to be a Mira or an Echo ban, if we're being realistic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, okay. So this ban phase, not crazy, not like, not bad, just unusual.
And IP just basically taking the ranked stance on banning Mira there and using, okay, if we win 6 rounds first, then they can't possibly come back, and we won't have to worry about that Mira on the other side.
So I'll be honest, I don't think Mira's all that amazing on this map, to be honest. Like, okay, so she is really good in some spots, but I find that on Villa, Mira often works against the defensive team as soon as it's broken. Like as soon as that Mira window is gone,
Yeah.
like the defenders just struggle so hard. So I imagine she'll be brought a few rounds here and there, but probably not consistently.
And you're right about that, because right from the start, she's going to be left out of the lineup here going into the first round. Interestingly enough, I think I talked about this when I was on for North America the other day, too. Brazil's gotten a bit weird on this map with the site picks, or LATAM, excuse me, has gotten a little bit weird with the site picks on this map, and oftentimes we see them going to the first floor first. So this is going to be the case. They're going to end up jumping into kitchen for the opening round.
They haven't just gotten weird with their site picks. They've gotten weird in their operator bans.
Yeah.
And weird in how they play based around those operator bans. LATAM is an interesting kind of meta. It's completely isolated from all the other ones. You see a little bit of injection here from North America from time to time, from Europe, based on the teams that tend to go to the LANs. But for the most part, they have their own unique meta, which is very divergent from all the other ones. So that's really interesting. And it's really developed, too. That's the thing. Is since they have so many teams, they can just internally develop their meta, and then there's always something new to see from them.
Hopefully we'll get to see a bit of that newness here today, as quite a few dangerous operatives have been left in, including the entirety of the anti-roam roster. So you're going to see right off the bat, we're going to have both a Jackal and a Nomad come in for Team 1. They do not want to get messed around with by an IP in the early round here whatsoever.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because it's Villa. This is one of the most roamed on maps in the game. So you got a lot of options, especially in the basement. You see even Luka trying to set himself up to clear out that basement, should he want to. But he will opt to move somewhere else. Got the Nomad looking downstairs as well. Reduct going to be droning for Skadinia. Team 1, I'm going to be honest, not really sure what they're trying to do.
Being almost overly cautious before they go into the building, it seems, to try and, just fully drone out every point of access at the moment.
Yeah. I think they're trying to deal with the roamers downstairs, which, okay, I get it. But this is a kitchen defense. I would have expected more attack going onto the top floor. Are they maybe setting up for a rush strategy of some sort?
It's going to be definitely a bit of a delay on it, but they do have quite a few people in position to try and move in, at least through Mudroom, and try to shock value that. Have at least one EMP grenade going in so they can start to entry. The rest of the team will start rotating around into slightly different positions, though, from the other side of the building. And again, still really no sign of actual entry here besides Skadina in the basement, which is obviously going to be a little bit safer, but even he's not necessarily in clear terms right now, as there is a roamer. You can see Psycho right on the other side of this looking to hunt him down right now.
Air jabs have just isolated Psycho, though, so in order to influence anything on these stairs, he's going to have to hit one of those air jabs, and that's going to give his position away. Flashbang giving away Skadinia's position, but it was probably already known. He has a good access point here from storage. Gohan going to be the one to try and contest this. He's looking the wrong way right now. Ooh, doesn't seem like he's aware. Oh, perfect placement of the crosshair, but he's going to be off by just a centimeter. Misses the shot.
No true damage being done. You can hear barbed wire being tossed away, though. A nade's going to get, Nitro Cell's going to get chucked in to try and find a response to that, but it won't sink itself truly. No damage done. Team 1 still sit at full 5 members strong, but so does NIP. And there's only 30 seconds left in the round. It's been incredibly quiet for both teams up until this point, where finally Psycho is going to be able to find leverage to strike from the backstairs, knocking out Skadina and bringing us down to a 5v4.
Kamikaze holding on to storage door here with the shotgun. It's going to be really hard for the attackers to get past this. They've even got support from Gohan deep in sight. Rise gets the first kill for his team, and Lucid will refrag Falls. Wow, look at Team 1 suddenly coming alive. It's just Psycho off the roam, and he's done away with. Lucid, a big round. We didn't even get to see what happened there. We were looking at the wrong person. But what we do know is that Team 1, an explosive win that they really probably shouldn't have been able to get.
Literally comes out of nowhere too. I mean, I'm thinking to myself leading up in these last few seconds is like, okay, they didn't clear anything. They haven't really dealt with utility. There's no way they're going to make this work. And somehow they get the job done. They're just able to trade their way to a win through execute. Props to Team 1, and they'll get the first round as a result of that.
That is the definition of a round. The defense, I mean, they choked pretty hard there. I don't understand, because Team 1 didn't do any setup to take into the site. They didn't do any, there was no... Okay, so there's a couple different things that you can do, right? You can clear out above, force the anchors to move by opening up holes, and then you know what you have control of and what you don't, right? Also, you can usually get some picks off of that as the attackers. Or you can clear out the roamers that you suspect to be somewhere where they... Like, for example, you can clear out the roamers in the basement. That didn't happen either. Then you can open up laundry door, or laundry wall, I mean. And then you can push into the site using extra access points that that wall being open gives you. They didn't do that either. The attack really didn't do anything, and then they rushed into the bottlenecks and somehow won. That's pretty much what happened in that round. And that should never work, basically. Never work. So that you got to put that at the feet of Ninjas in Pyjamas, mostly, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that one.
5 seconds to go.
3K for Lucid, 2K for Rise. Big plays from Lucid. There you go.
And overall, a pretty successful last-second attack there from Team 1. They'll start to find this get a little bit more difficult, though, as we move into the next round, as NIP has started to go for the upstairs sites, the one that we often see played a lot more in the North American and European regions. So we'll start to see a more standard path of play from this point onward.
Now, Team 1 looking like they want to clear into study. It is an Aviator Games defense here. Thatcher's still in play, so you can imagine the hard destruction is going to actually happen. That was a miss from Falls, but it probably still got what he was looking for.
Don't see an immediate attempt to rethrow it anyway. He doesn't want to use it under these circumstances. There's still a lot more work to be done if they want to get access to the site. Most importantly, trying to get themselves in. They do not have... Well, the Thermites, so it won't be the easiest point of access, but they do once again bring Habana to the table in order to try and give them hard breach access here. And again, they've got the Thatcher, so it shouldn't be too much of a deal to knock out some of these Cade Electric Claws that were sitting, as Cade is also playing incredibly aggressively over by the main stairs leading up into study.
So because Falls missed his first EMP there in the corner, which was targeted at the ADS also captured one of the Ash charges, which means another EMP had to be used. So one misstep from Falls has just cost a butt ton of utility to be wasted from Team 1, so that's really unfortunate.
Down to the last half of the round now. Team 1 do have position to start taking control of areas towards 90 itself, and you can see them droning it out to start getting ready for the push. Another EMP is going to... Ooh, that fell down, but it still is going to be able to knock out what they need it to and give Reduct the room he needs in order to get this wall open.
This is why you bring the Habana. It's harder to impact trick these holes down on the low end. It's going to allow Team 1 access into the bar in Games Room. Cut off the play in Games Room so that you're, as a defender, now really restrained in that position. And the Team 1 have also managed to take control of 90. It by repel from Skadinia, but it's still control. This could be holding the angle. Drone comes out. He sees the Mozzie. He'll lose a drone, but not a big deal. Information gathered. Now he knows what he's dealing with. Kamikaze will go down as well to Reduct. So far, Team 1 having a really good round. And, oh, wow, it's just going to be a prone entry here from Reduct. He's not actually been stopped. Amazingly, Julio misses the shots. Fall's going to get Gohan on the cover, but Muzi adding to his team's tally. And there's 2 for Ninjas of Pyjamas. Post-plant, though, now, and there's only 2 players left on Ninjas of Pyjamas. C4 goes out, does get Reduct. So the planter done away with. Skadinia in the west hallway. Lucid playing at the top of main stairs. Psycho going to be taking a fight on the west hallway. Through the wall, misses his shots. That's Skadinia just trying his best to get to 90. He's trying to play it safe. Psycho's got to take this fight. He's running out of time, actually. And Muzi's going to get Skadinia. There you go. The west hallway done away with. It's just on Lucid, but Psycho doesn't get aggressive. He's going to go back for the diffuser. Muzi's going to cover. Psycho, you need to stick it. Decide. Pick where you're going. It's in the west hallway that Luka decides to make his stand, and he cannot deny the disable, so Ninjas in Pyjamas post-plant will bring it back.
Just barely, though. We're nearly running out of time as we can see a bit of a fear of commitment from NIP and wanting to fully stick the counter defuse, but they are still able to get it done at the end of the day. And with that, NIP ties us up at 1-1. Very close round, though, and Team 1 were looking good to very easily steal away a second for themselves here. So NIP looking a little bit shaky on Villa to start things out, but they are getting control and now can shift over to the other upstairs site, play into their trophy statue defense.
That very narrowly could have been a clutch out for Team 1, and Luka specifically. He didn't play it perfectly, though. Luka, he peeked the hallway. Then he tried to peek the diffuser in the middle of peeking the hallway. He could have also challenged from study, which was another option he had. It must have been limited information for Luka, not knowing what he was dealing with. Nice try, though. Overall, Team 1 getting the plant, just not able to hold on to it for long enough for it to matter. They rushed that plant, too. They really did rush that plant.
They tried to crawl in with the Hibana, and it worked as well.
Amazingly.
They were able to get away with that, yeah, just dodging the Valkyrie sitting on the inside of Gun Vault. So
once it was Julio.
hopefully they got away with that and nearly leveraged a win, just not enough in the post plan at the end of the day, since their plan, as you mentioned, was a little bit rushed there. So not everybody where they needed to be to successfully defend that and keep themselves alive, more importantly. Over to our next site, though. Setup should be pretty straightforward. There's normally not a whole lot of variance for your reinforcement setup on this site overall. So you should see what you normally expect with that main bedroom all getting reinforced, then maybe one of the middle ones leading into astronomy, but it doesn't look like they've done that this time. Not too big of a deal as long as they maintain that astronomy control.
So Trophy is, for some people, a secondary site. For others, it's tertiary. Sometimes it's the primary. It kind of depends on the team, right? It seems for Ninjas in Pyjamas, it's the third here. We're going to be seeing them go too. And I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised the kitchen got brought first. But like you said, it's become more of a popular thing to happen these days. Maybe it's just to try and trip up your opponent. Maybe it's just they like that site more. Whatever the case be, Team 1 going to be confronted with Trophy now. They have control of the Master Closet, which is going to allow them by proxy control of Master itself. Looks like they're trying to spot out a Valkyrie cam, and they will.
Just had to do a little bit of drone pointing it out there for a second in order to get the message.
It was kind of cute, to be honest.
Give me that. Give me that.
Now, Ninjas in Pyjamas have to deny the wall getting opened up, and they have a Mute and a Kaid. So the Kaid can use his Electric Cause after the Mutes stop the Excaros, but the EMPs are going to nullify all of that. Meanwhile, Rise getting a double kill downstairs. Both the roamers on the base, or on the middle floor, actually, done away with. Actually, not both. There's one more. There's only 2 anchors right now, amazingly. And it's just Julio on the roam. No, sorry, Muzi on the roam. Julio playing an Astro. Kamikaze's going to need some damage as he rotates there. Unable to deny the wall getting opened up, and that's rough for him.
Julio does find a first response here now for his team, knocking out the Nomad. Muzi does the same, taking down Rise. So the dichotomy shifts, and we end up back down into a 3 versus 3 once again. NIP looking a little bit shaky there for a second, as they actually have been in quite a few of these rounds, but once more, they have started to bring it back. Quite a few players on NIP taking some serious damage, though. Falls looking to try and finish off some of the astronomy players so they can finally start looking towards a plan here as they come down to their last minute of time on the clock. But so far have not been able to successfully do that, so in a moment, probably going to try to have their Ash push up the stairs and do that for them. Kamikaze just strikes once again, though, from his position, finds Falls and brings it down to 2. Reduct, however, moving himself out from Master Bedroom, does catch the trade on to Julio, leaving only 2 left standing, now 1 for Team 1. It's going to be Reduct versus the world. He can't get it done, though, as he's knocked out by Muzi, completing that wraparound at NIP, claim a second.
Geez, that's 2 rounds in a row where Ninjas in Pyjamas managed to win where they shouldn't. And Team 1 struggling to secure these rounds after putting themselves up in such a substantial lead early on. That's 2 kills that Rise got at the very beginning of the round, just tossed away. Can be rough out there, but Team 1... you need to stop allowing these rounds to slip away from them, to be honest. They had such a good lead there. They had everything going for them. Control of Master, wall open, two-man advantage. And then suddenly, people are taking engagements one at a time. They're leaving themselves exposed to flanks. And Ninjas in Pyjamas taking full advantage. They even had an HP advantage in the 3 versus 3. Team 1 did. I mean, both of the two NIP players were on like a sliver of HP.
Less than 25 easily.
Yeah, dies to single bullet, and both of them managed to win a fight each at least. And Muzi came back to site. He had full HP, and he did work.
So we go into our 4th round. It is going to be another kitchen defense being put up this time by NIP since they have won their other 2 sites. Definitely not a fan of Library, at least it seems that's the case for now, so they'll go back to kitchen to try this again. Team 1, of course, shocked us the last time they played this with kind of their crazy last-second run-in that was able to work out well for them. So far, the only round they've won so far, though, against NIP. And NIP will certainly be expecting that same thing once again, so it would be unwise for Team 1 to try and pull it off in the same fashion.
Now, wow, look at that. Team NIP or Team Muzi? 7 kills.
Muzi with some slight support from Psycho.
In 3 rounds.
Yeah.
That's really impressive, to be honest.
Making a nice run here. We'll see how well he's able to keep up with that if we get later into the game. But a solid start to be sure.
Yeah.
Roaming duty right now, so can find some more of that impact pretty soon.
Now, Team 1 trying to clear out the Master to begin with. So this looks like a much more typical kitchen attack where you're going to take control of above and use your vertical advantage to open up above the anchors and move them. Yeah, pretty standard. They're also clearing out from study as well, so that the priority right now for T1 is just top floor control.
We've got a couple of players already having worked their way forward into the top floor. Unfortunately, not having the control of what they need just yet. You can still see Muzi and Gohan running around on the outskirts here. A few of them actually pulling back to site now, as they just had second floor control a second ago, but they've since ceded that. So Team 1, at the moment, is going to have a very easy time of walking through this and clearing the rest of it out, and of course, getting set up for their eventual execute.
Good angles put up here on Trophy, but there's nobody actually there to find, so it's a waste of utility effectively. And it actually is going to make those players, when they're opening from above, it's going to force them to be more exposed to any potential roam retake of the top floor. T1 have control of the top floor in its entirety. There is C4 from below they need to worry about. 2, probably, the hands of the defenders. So that's something they're going to have to keep track of as this round plays out. Could potentially punish the attackers for that top floor. There it is.
Right on cue. Kamikaze is going to be able to find the first kill of the round against Falls, taking him out. See, Kamikaze has a slight angle now to try and play into this a little bit further, but Reduct and Julia are going to get the next kills instead. Team 1, though, still taking the brunt of that damage as they're now down to only 3 players left. NIP still has a +1 against them. Reduct getting ready to work his way in as time is getting low for the attackers here. But once again, NIP just in the site set up for this with not a lot of pressure against them. And even Julio making a bit of a flanked run right now could do some serious damage, as it does not appear as Team 1 is watching for him.
Yeah, Julio's going to be a playmaker here, and considering the man advantage that Ninja Pyjamas have already managed to rack up, it seems like this is looking really unwinnable for T1. Julio stopped by his team's own barricade. He can't pass that without giving away his position, so he has to wait. And meanwhile, Skadinya's trying to work his way into Laundry in the last 20 seconds. Flashes in, knows the diffuser's down, is going to have to pick it up. Pre-fire goes towards the kitchen, does not land on anybody. Luke trying to flank the kitchen, but he doesn't have a lot of time. He has to reload now because of opening that doorway, and his teammate's actually going to die to Kamikaze, who gets his 3rd kill. Longo being played there from B, and he really is in a hail of bullets right now, trying his best to stay alive, and he'll be unsuccessful. Final kill comes out for Kamikaze. I believe that is a 4K for him, and Ninjas and Pyjamas take yet another round.
Much more straightforward fashion this time here on the kitchen defense. We don't see the second crazy attack from Team 1 that they tried to pull off the last time, which did work against NIP. NIP able to hold their positions. Roamers never even really challenged as far as we saw either. Basically, it just ended up falling back to the first floor, which, again, because Team 1 didn't have a whole lot of pressure in the first floor in the early round over towards the Aviator game side of the map, we were able to see their Jaeger rotate all the way around the map through either red, or I think it was through main stairs, and then work himself into a flanked position to try and shut the rest of that down once we had the attackers running out of time. That'll be a 3-1 lead for NIP. Already a solid half established for them here, and looking to take it just a bit further as we go to their last 2 rounds on defense.
Well, every round that NIP get past this one is just bonus. The 3 rounds means that you're not losing your defensive half. 4 rounds means you've won it. Anymore, I mean, there you go. You're solidifying that match. So far, NiP have looked pretty strong. The first round was rough, for sure. It was rough because NiP had everything going for them and still lost. But since then, NiP have managed to clutch out 2, just barely. And that last one, the third in a row, was, I mean, utterly one-sided. And it was because the rest of NiP seemed to come alive. Kamikaze, especially.
And you can see that scoreline getting just a tad closer here now. It's no longer the Muzi show necessarily.
Yeah, they're catching up to him.
A few other players were able to step in on that last round and pick up a couple frags for themselves.
It was actually only 2, because it was Kamikaze got 4. So whoever got the other one. So it's still kind of like a one-man show, just a different man in this case.
Alternating man show.
Exactly.
It's like we talked about before. We know everyone on NIP can step up. We just don't know who specifically is going to step up in any game.
Team One have had pretty good teamwork. That has been the thing for them too. That's how they won that first round. It's how it seems like Team One set themselves up to win every round, but then lose it somehow. There's never. I mean, there's always an explosive end to Team One's, good start.
Away from that, though, we do have Team One splitting their push on the opener just a little bit here. Skadina working his way through the basement and now over towards Astronomy Stairs. He does have free access to this. As of a few moments ago, there was roaming presence on this side of the map from NIP, most notably trying to pressure into Master Bedroom. I think they do have a bit of drone work being done, trying to confirm that there is still a player there, and there's the red ping from the drone now to double confirm that. But Skadina does get a note that someone else is pushing him from downstairs as well, and he's going to fall back to try and watch for that.
Is being droned in here. Muzi's trying to come up from behind. This is good positioning from him. He might be able to get a free kill if he waits here long enough. Oh, he makes a movement noise. It gives away his position, and you could see that Skadina heard that. He actually came up on the angle, and now he's going to put an air jab for that rotation, so it's no longer an option for Muzi. Bad timing there from the Mozzie.
Muzi, I don't even know if he noticed the air jab going down. He'll be able to hear it for sure as he gets closer, but he now needs to be a little bit more cautious about how he plays this from this point forward, and more than likely he's just going to have to retreat and play with his team.
He has a drone, so he's calling out things for his teammates. This is really good information from Muzi on the Mozzie.
Right now he snuck the drone in as well, catches the Zofia still on camera, so that drone will be pre-placed with no intel over to the folks on Team One.
He bypasses the air jab by just going to a different staircase. Now he's back in play on the middle floor. C4 in hand, he can deny the plant from below. He even has the drone, his own drone, to assist him in calling out where the plant's going down. Now, as we come closer to the last few seconds of this round, Ninjas and Pyjamas are set up for success. This C4 might even land. No, it doesn't, just barely. Whoever that was, managing to avoid death.
I think it might have been Falls again, silhouette, but obviously hard to tell from that distance. Either way, coming down to the last 30 seconds, Team One, again, forced into a last-second execute on this site. Reduct will start it out well for them, though, catching Gohan just on the inside. Now Falls, able to pick up the next one from the inside of the map itself. Now going behind it in order to get the plant onto the ground. This is going to be a pretty clean plant. Actually, no, Psycho completes his wrap, moves in to take out Falls. The player on the outside of Repel was not able to stop him appropriately, but does get the trade. 2 seconds left. Will they get the defuse down in time? It's looking like yes, they will, and not only that, but they confirm the final kill onto Muzi. Team One with yet another round as they bring it up to 2.
That was a really impressive clutch there, to be honest. I thought that Ninjas and Pyjamas had it in the bag. The round seemed all but done.
Second round now where that's happened, seemingly, where it just looks like NIP, yep, they've got great control. There's no way for Team One to get in. This round's over. And then they just win it again.
Yeah. This one looked a little bit better coordinated by Team One, to be fair to them. They did have the cutoff in study. If it weren't for that, then it would have been a really easy holdout for NiP. So they had layers to their attack strategy. But to be honest, that was straight up NiP throwing the round away. And Team One saying, yes, please, thank you very much. I'll take some more if you'll have any more of that to serve. Because that was a pretty easy win for Team One. Individual players just like, hey, there's a kill right in front of me. And then they secure it. There was also the wasted utility that we saw from Muzi downstairs. He really, really needed to hold on to that C4 for the plant. As soon as I saw him throw it out, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? He could get the kill, but even if he doesn't, even if he does, sorry, it's not a good use of his utility. You got to deny the plant, and they're not bringing the right operators to deny the plant directly. So the C4 out from below is really important in that. And the fact that Muzi positioned himself correctly and then whiffed the job in the end is really kind of unfortunate for Nip.
So they were not able to leverage that into their favor, but they do get a second attempt on this site now, or third attempt technically, as they did win their first one. Now lost the second, so they'll try it one more time here upstairs on the Aviator game site as we go into the last round of their defense before the two teams switch sides.
Skadinian still has a donut. Unfortunate. It happens. We're almost done with the first half, though. Let's see if he can change that before we move to the second.
Those rough starts every once in a while.
It does happen, yeah. Also, Skadinian is one of those players that usually does actually contribute quite a lot. So seeing him have one bad first half of a match, forgivable.
We'll see now how Team One is going to be able to pick themselves up to try and trade this out. It does look like most of the presence here from Team One this time is focused on just going directly for the office push or study push, and then will work their way into the site. Maverick as well to act as their hard breach this time. They have ditched the Hibana that they were using on the previous attempts.
So the Maverick is going to be much more of a sure thing, but it also is a bigger risk, and that's why we don't see him be as popular in LATAM, I'm guessing. Teams don't like to maybe possibly lose their hard destructor if they play it incorrectly, and with this one angle opened up, it's going to make playing in games a lot harder, just like it would be if it were Hibana opening up the wall. But again, it's... Oh.
Give us just a sec, folks.
Buffering.
We have to refresh our game.
Mm-hmm. The game was like, nah. It's actually not the game, though.
Yeah.
So we're just going to wait and come back to us. Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's going good for me, too. I'm glad to know that you're enjoying yourself. It's been an interesting match so far. Nip, the only rounds they've lost have been rounds that they really shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part. NIP still taking kind of solid control of a lot of these situations, just maybe not ready for, I guess you would say like the shock value of the execute a lot of the time almost, and just kind of getting tripped up by that, and then losing the round often in the trade, it would seem.
Yeah, just so you guys know, the match is actually still going on. We just can't see it. They're not going to stop the match because we can't see it. So it's happening. I'm going to give you an update right now, actually. Team 1 just won that round. It was a flawless round as well. So that means the first half is going to end in a 3-3, and we will move on to the second half.
And we're going to jump right back into it here, folks. Do apologize for that little bit of an issue there, but hopefully shouldn't pop up again. So we're going to try to continue on just normal.
We have no idea what happened in that round, but considering how quick it was, it must have been a rush.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say so. Like again, they had all their players in position. They weren't really trying to like roam upstairs towards bedroom and clear out roamers there like they were doing in the previous round. Everybody was kind of on study side from the start, so I'm pretty sure they just got everybody in position and went for it, and it worked.
Straight study take there from Team 1, and they ended it in a flawless round. Usually study is the sort of take that is going to cause attrition to the attack, yet not in this case. Ninjas Pyjamas, rough first half, gotta say, for defensive half on Villa. 3-3. I mean, it's not the end of the world. For me, 3-3 is like the perfect. You're not losing as the defense, but you're not winning either. It's not really in between. It's just kind of this hovering because it's anyone's game, right?
Yeah.
4-2, you're doing okay on defense on Villa, but now Team 1 they get to switch over to the defensive side and they get to be a little bit more comfortable because of it.
They too are also going to go directly into Kitchen to start things off, so we'll choose this site to start, and that is immediately going to test an IP from the get-go here. We'll see how well they're able to leverage the attack on this lower floor site that we've been seeing this region, LATAM, use quite a bit, but not as much outside of this. However, NIP should be no strangers to this at this point. We're going to see how well they're able to execute into it.
We'll see how this attack comes out, but based on the fact that we've got a sledge, I'm guessing it's going to be a top floor take. I imagine the Twitch has brought breaching charges as well. No, wow, amazing. Okay, Claymore. They haven't brought a Nomad, so that's fair enough, I suppose. But there's no breaching charges that I could see on that lineup. Maybe somebody has them, but I didn't catch them. And what that means is it's going to be all on the sledge for the most part for the top soft destruction. You do have the Zofia and the Ashe, of course, but they're probably going to reserve those charges for other things. This is pure killing power, by the way, on the attacking side. You've got Twitch, Ashe, Zofia. That's just we want kills. That's none of the utility play. Who needs that? So we'll see if that works for Nip. I mean, it did work for T1 on this first round, on this first half, so it's totally possible. patience for Muzi there on the red stairs. He's actually got a lot of potential targets that he could engage if he just pushes down a little bit.
It's gone very quiet here, though, across the map, especially from NIP's perspective. They're trying to, I think, maintain the illusion and potentially light up Muzi and some of these other players for early frags, but that won't end up happening, at least in the way that they would have hoped. Reduct is going to be able to catch Gohan working his way in. Julio as well, closer to Mudroom, nearly gets picked off there. He's going to end up down under 25 HP. Same fate, really, for the Zofia, as Skadinya just walks right in from the upstairs site and knocks out Psycho.
He gets his first kill. He's on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Skadinya contributing now. He's going to be holding on to Astro as well, and that is going to make the job of clearing out the roamers really difficult for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Julio on low HP. Overall, the attack really in a bad spot. Kamikaze trying to clear the stairs. He'll take out Skadinya, so no more kills for him. And that's the first one for Nip. That might be where the ball starts rolling for them. But Julio on low HP, though, it doesn't seem very likely. As much as they have the advantage of the top 4 now, it still is a strong overall advantage to the defense. Especially as we come down to the last 45 seconds. Oh, wow. Really? A late reinforcement in the laundry? Really?
Just throw that one up there. Why don't they? They've got maybe one remaining, so... And NIP, of course, they're going to try to restrict them as they're now down to only 3 players left standing. There is also still more presence off-site. They've yet to deal with Lukid, taking this angle right outside of the site door leading into kitchen. Knocks out Muzi, taking him down. And now only 2 players left standing for NIP. Scratch that one as Lukid strikes yet again. Everything falls to Kamikaze as he completes his wrap over towards Laundry, but is now up against far too much to deal with. The smoke even messing with him a little bit there by peeking every once in a while. He ends up losing that fight, but Reduct is able to trade it back a second later, and that's Team 1 taking the lead away from NIP to start out the second half.
Team 1 haven't had the lead since the first round, and, well, they've regained it. Now, all right. 4-3, Team 1, but it's been a pretty close match. In the first half, a lot of those rounds were Ninjas in Pyjamas just, honestly, throwing the round away. Just like, hey, we don't need it. This second half, that round was just a really solid defense from Team 1, honestly. And Ninjas in Pyjamas threw themselves against it. They tried to clear out the top floor. And yeah, they did eventually get the top floor control that they wanted, but it cost so much. It cost 2 players, cost 2 minutes. And then following that, Ninjas in Pyjamas were not in a position to do anything with the control because they had lost their sledge. They didn't have breaching charges on many players, or any players that I could see. And so the vertical control amounted to nothing. So, okay, what does Nip do? Well, they decided to try and push downstairs. But they don't have any control down there either. And there's still roamers far afield, just outside of the site, you know, ready to punish the people who are pushing down the staircases. Because when you're coming down those staircases, you're expecting to be confronting the site directly, but you're actually dealing with somebody in living room, somebody by bike, somebody pushing up aggressively in the red hallway. That was a Lukid on the Jaeger. I mean, so many different layers to that defense for Team 1 that Ninjas in Pyjamas just couldn't surmount. They couldn't get over it. And it was because of the early loss. It was because of the lack of usefulness of that top floor control. There were a lot of layers to it, but ultimately, Team 1 just played it well.
So now it's time to see if Team 1 can keep that streak going, and along with the good play that comes with it. Now moving to the upstairs sites, which normally are going to be the easier ones, but they start out on a different foot this time by taking control of the kitchen first, something that we see kind of uniquely in LATAM at the moment, but other regions at this point are starting to play around with, not really seriously implementing it into their strat books yet, but they'll poke in every once in a while. For the guys on NIP, though, to start this round off, we're going to see them quickly busting open the window leading into Astronomy and droning from there. Droning will very much be the name of the game here in the early seconds of the round. So they want to be very careful not to proceed to the inside of master bedroom, bathroom, or anywhere else, while Team 1 is still set up to stop that. Rise will actually get stunned out here pretty aggressively by the Zofia. That is going to restrict him for a couple of seconds here, but no huge push coming in just yet from the NIP roster.
Well, they're set up for it. It's only going to take a little bit of a push here to make this work for them, but Psycho's actually going to die early on the Zofia, so that's a really potent operator gotten rid of, and Falls is actually going to get healed back to full thanks to the dock. That active heal, really substantial for the defense. Wall getting opened up here onto Statuary. Or, I mean, I assume it will be once the Mute Jammer's dealt with. Some of those Excaros being shot from below, as you can see. Even more of them being shot. That's 3 total. That looks like it was Reduct. Yeah, there it is. From below, he's going to be able to do some work on the X-Garros. And that's because of the mute jammers. The mute jammers on the wall are slowing this down. Habana can't detonate those charges immediately, which allows for Reduct downstairs to get rid of them. That's an interesting strategy from Team One, to be honest. I like to see little, not necessarily innovations, but little side steps like that. Reduct will be taken care of though, and Rise will as well. So suddenly, Nip are in the lead. It looked like Team One were going to be able to lock this out pretty easily, but now they have Astro control, and they've dealt with a roamer downstairs, which means no C4 from below.
Muzi trying to find yet another player as Julio actually is able to pick off Skadinya and knock him out, so Team One's lead grows ever further away. Now they're down to just the mute along with the Mozzie. Luka, though, is able to catch one. He throws the C4 on top of the body and gets a second from it along with Falls, catching Muzi on the rotate out of Master Bedroom. We're down to only one player left from NIP, and he won't survive. Falls completes the comeback in that round from Team One, and what a beautiful comeback it was, especially with that Nitro Cell play from the Mozzie. Amazing stuff to turn it around.
Wow. Really good job there from Team One. That was a beautiful recovery. They should have lost that round. So we see one of those now for Team One, as we saw for Ninjas of Pyjamas in the first half. Overall, Ninjas of Pyjamas, they were putting it together, man. They cleared out the roamer downstairs. Again, that was big because that's the C4 gotten rid of, and it means they can open up the master wall with ease. And once that was dealt with, they also were getting picks on the site itself, which forced Team One to play a little bit differently. They put a little bit more aggro, not only on the Astro stairs, but also on the master doorway. And then, you know, you're thinking to yourself, that's not going to work out great for Team One. They're going to get punished for those plays, but they don't. And the C4 was when the momentum really shifted. So good job to, I believe it was Lukid who got that one.
Yeah.
And, yeah, props to Team One as a whole.
So interesting pick to put Skadinya specifically on the Caveira, considering his personal performance in this matchup until this point. And I'm going to have to see how that one shapes out, because he's been getting caught pretty often here. He only just got his first kill like 2 rounds ago, so...
I mean, maybe that's why he's bringing the Cav. I mean, like, you know what? This will work.
That's the play.
Yeah. So, Aviator Games and a Cav play. The Cav is the weirdest thing here. We don't see it very often, but when we do, it's usually not successful. The one thing about Cav is that one thing she's really good at is she just wins fights. You don't have to hit headshots or anything like that. Just aim for the center mass. Her pistol wins fights at close ranges. And you can get at close range because of her silent step thing. So, Cav is a good killing operator. Like, she does a lot when it comes to winning engagements. But there are so many usually considered better operators for that, like Vigil, for example. Vigil is like, if you want a defensive fragger, Vigil is your operator, right? And he has the ability to make it so when you're in a room, yeah, they'll know you're in that room, but they won't know exactly where. So you can bypass the droning. But with Cav, you just got to be really, really good at just playing in odd spots. Luckily for Skadinya, Villa has a basement that is almost never cleared. Almost never. It gets ignored. It's like a part of the map. It's like a highway for roamers, basically. And there's not a lot of maps that have just roamer highways that aren't accessed in any other way. But this one does, and that's going to allow the Cav some serious movement power.
We'll see if Skadinya is able to leverage anything with that highway in use. To start off the actual round, though, Psycho finds an early kill into Reese. We are going to see Team 1's player go down. Is that a... highly doubt it's going to be an interrogation, as I don't even know if he's getting killed there. But either way, Psycho and NIP in general are just picking up kills left and right. As, yeah, Falls is definitely not going to end up getting hit by that. And NIP in general here... well, Skadinya is going to be able to snipe one away from the red stairs, but he's pushed back away downstairs out of this situation, and now has to be very careful about his position. He is grouped up with Lukid pretty well here. That won't necessarily help them in this case, though, as NIP now have full access to the site.
Yeah, Lukid also doesn't have a C4, so he can't deny the plant. This should be a really easy nip round. If Skadinya had full HP, maybe this would still be Team 1 in play, but Lukid's been spotted out. Skadinya on low HP. Some reason Nip have not planted. I assume they believe that the Pulse has a C4 still. And yes, they'll be planting on the pool table, so that supports that hypothesis. Skadinya going to be pushing down the hallway. Julia will take him down, so good positioning there from Julio. Skadinya can't win any engagements, and neither can Lukid. So Ninja Pyjamas secure that round pretty handily. The side play working out great for them. And we go to 5-4. The back and forth is non-stop in this one.
much cleaner play from NIP out of that round in general compared to some of the previous ones where they were getting tripped up constantly in the late round, but able to get the damage done this time, and most importantly, avoid the roamers for the most part, most importantly, avoid that Caveira up until the very end. So that'll get swapped out pretty quickly to an Alibi on the initial pick. That could potentially get swapped away as well, though, depending on how Skadini wants to play it, but obviously wouldn't be too crazy if he stuck with it, which is what he's going to choose to do under these circumstances.
There'll be a Clash actually being brought instead of a Pulse. That's interesting. So the Pulse you would bring and then 6-pick off because it makes your enemy think that they're going to need to clear out underneath, and until they see the Clash, they'll still think that. They'll probably see the Clash pretty quickly, but
the Clash is pretty easy to see under
and here,
yeah,
just in general, it's the obvious it's a Clash, so whatever. But yeah, it's a couple seconds maybe they'll buy. Anyway, another Aviator defense for Team 1. The first one didn't go so well, but maybe second time's a charm here for them. One thing that I'm sure they're thinking to themselves based on their operator selection right now is that the roamers being, well, so far away from site really did not help them. Because we didn't actually see what happened on site. All we know where Nip started getting a bunch of kills. I actually didn't see where that was happening or how it was happening. So I can't really say as an authority, unfortunately. But the way it looked like from our perspective, watching the roamers for the most around, it seemed that the anchors from Team 1 were getting picked off pretty handily by Nip, who had control of the circumference of the site. All of it. They had 90, they had Study, they had Red Hall, they had everything going for them. And then the roamers weren't influencing that in a meaningful way, which meant the anchors were suffering. They were getting engaged from multiple angles, and they weren't able to persist, which meant, yeah, roamers all alone now. We saw it, right, like you said, right at the end where the Calf managed to snipe 1 kill away. This didn't matter.
Yeah. Ended up not impacting the outcome of the round really at all, as they just traded that along with the extra roamer out right afterwards. Team 1, again, though, sitting with a lot of outside site presence right now, trying to capitalize on tripping up NIP early on in the round. That hasn't really been happening as of the last 2 rounds, though, and it's often come down to the site hold and or the retake for Team 1. So we will see how well trying to double down on roamers kind of works for them.
Is that an actual skinless Alibi? If you don't know, Alibi's Prismas, her decoys, basically, they don't have any of your skins on. So like if you're using a weapon skin or a uniform skin, it won't be seen on the Prisma. I think he actually is running a no-skin Alibi, which is, I mean, people often don't lean into that, but hey, I get it in this setting.
Yeah.
It does have an optic on it, though. So, you know, a little bit of the thing that gives him away. Anyway.
That's the one thing you kind of need.
I feel like the Prismas should really mimic your attachments at minimum. Anyway. Team 1. Gonna get the first kill as Luca finds Psycho, trying to push up the red stairs. That really could be just summed up to amazing timing.
As Luca is going to kind of walk himself into the kill. It is the IQ, most importantly, so if there is, well, most importantly, things like goo mines still left around the map, along with other pieces of utility, they won't be able to get rid of that as easily. They'll have to spot it on the drones in advance, or just catch it out of the corner of their eye, which sometimes is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. We got a 2-man set, a bit of a buddy system behind the Clash, using her as the human shield, which doesn't happen that much either. Lucan going to be able to leverage another kill for his team, though, and Rise picking up the 3rd. NIP falling apart very, very quickly here, leaving it all down to just 2 players, and they don't stay alive for that long either. Gohan and Kamikaze go down quickly. Team 1 scores another round, gets themselves up on map point for the potential to give NIP their first full loss of the entire season.
Well, I mean, if they win this next one.
Important, yeah.
Yeah, if Team 1 win one more round, then it will be the first full loss for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and that would be really impressive, to be honest. So that would give Team 1 second place again. They'd leapfrog over Team Liquid, who just leapfrogged over Team 1, so it'd be a little bit of a trade back. They'd be sitting at 19 points, with 3 off of this, 16 initially into the day, and that would put them 1 point behind FaZe.
So let's see if Team 1 can get it done and be the first team to give NIP an L on their record. Let's see if that will be the case. It is obviously going to be a much more difficult defense. We've moved beyond the second floor sites as they are both locked away for the Team 1 roster to use at least until the next round. And for this one, though, we are going to see Library get used. So all 4 sites being picked by Team 1 at some point in this half.
That's interesting. I guess this is the curveball they're hoping is going to allow them to take the win. It might be the one that makes them suffer in the long run, though. Sometimes Library is seen as the site that is not gone to because it's easy to attack. There is a particular zone that you can really easily isolate on the southeast side of the B-bomb site there. You can see the wall that was opened up there. It's opened up because you need it to open. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to deny the plant that will inevitably go there. So there's a lot. It mostly depends on how the attack strategy is for NIP, on how competent they are on this site, because it is not a site that is practiced as frequently as some others. Mira being brought for the first time here. Now she can, when catching people off guard, she can really cause some serious problems, and that's probably why the Mira is being brought here and not in the other sites. Capital also being played. Honestly, no explanation why he didn't get played very much through this match. He's a powerful operator no matter where you put him.
We're going to see the first spot come out now as they do catch eyes onto at least one of the players from NIP, I think, right there, but no action to actually pick up the kill just yet. Just Rise playing behind that Mira window on the inside of upstairs in order to try and catch players going into study, and a bit of a surprise there.
Muzi looking to enter in through Trophy. Door open there, but he's going to give away his position while he opens it. Gohan knows he's going to need to pressure into Art in order to disable the Mira window that's in Piano. That's why he opened up that window. He'll do that later, probably. Or just trying to distract the player in Piano. No matter what, that Piano player is going to need to be dealt with, no matter how you look at it. It's hard to gain an access point that's going to allow the attackers to do that, though. That's the thing. The way that this is set up right now, Team 1, they're playing pretty well on the delay side, and that's going to really help the anchors. Ooh, great information from this Valkyrie cam, allowing Valkyrie himself to get the kill into Kamikaze. But there's a refrag from Psycho. A drop into the bathroom is going to be shut down by Skadinia. And Rise even above and behind that flank. Oh, a second for Skadinia as he pivots. Psycho keeps Ninjas and Pyjamas alive by getting one, but as Gohan goes down, Psycho's actually going to need to ace to win this. It would be incredible if he made that happen. This doesn't seem likely. He knows Skadinia's in the corner, but he can't engage him. And oh no, Skadinia's going to get the down, but the finish off might be from Rise. And there you go. GG, Team 1 take the win. And Ninjas and Pyjamas, for the first time in this season, will be outright defeated.
So the first loss for NIP and a huge victory for Team 1 at the end of the day. Better setups here on the defense, just more in the face of NIP, is able to allow for them to close out on this situation and take full control of this matchup. Rise especially happy about it there with 3 exclamation points on his GG well played.
GG well played indeed there, Rise. Between Rise and Lukit, you had 24 kills. That's 2 players with 12 kills each. That's crazy.
Crazy match overall from these guys. A little bit of a rocky start to it as well, but we're still able to take control of things at the end